Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we're doing episode 11 of Hot and Cold. This is a video series, now kind of like a podcast. I won't be doing a video for this specific upload here, but I like to pick out the best songs known as the hot and the worst songs known as the cold to have been released over the past week. For this specific upload, we'll be looking at songs that were put out between August 26th and September 1st. We're now into September. Welcome back to school. Hope everyone's doing well. And as usual, if you notice that a song's missing, feel free to recommend. Let's get into it. So up first here, I've picked out the new single from Arkells, which are a Canadian alternative rock group. Their second single is called Relentless. This is in support of their forthcoming album, Rally Cry, which is due to come out in October, I believe. This new single here is very evident for trying new things for the band. It has the first sample ever used in Arkells music to date. It builds around this slice of South African pop with the producer Chico. The hook is inspired by a conversation with Tragically Hip's Paul Langlois, who described the legend of Gord Downie as a relentless human being. It's a great song, has great pacing, driving energy. The bass timely enters and exits with precision. There's enough guitar to make it alternative, but the melody itself could work for any pop scene. The drum performance is meticulously crafted with the swung hi-hat rhythm, an occasional ride cymbal bell hit. The only problem with the song is probably the bridge. It's the most underwhelming part of the song. It feels like it's an unfinished piece of Morning Report, which was the band's last record. So it feels a little recycled here without much thought being put behind it. But everything else about the song is great. The inspiration for the lyrics, the production, and it should fill a nice spot in a track list for live concerts, especially at the bigger venues for everyone to know. Another hot track from the past week is called Everything Must Go by KONGOS. This is the newest teaser track from the Arizona alternative group that's been put out in support of 1929, which is their fourth studio album being put out later this year, and notably it's self-produced. But don't let that fool you for kind of low-end or lo-fi kind of quality of production. It still sounds great. I love the urgency created in the track right from the get-go. Each of the band members has his own role, and they fill it perfectly. There's a bit of a eerie vibe to it with the low ends and alterations on the voice here and there, so it makes you feel like the world is actually coming to an end. In addition to this, the lyrics are relevant to a highly capitalistic world and challenges the idea of money in relation to time. Compositionally, the bridge feels a little recycled, just like the new Arkells track I previously mentioned. Both the bands, Arkells and KONGOS, have a formula they typically like to stick to. The KONGOS a little bit more, since the band hasn't really switched up their style since breaking into mainstream rock with their song Come With Me Now. But this new track, Everything Must Go, still great. Be sure to stay on top of their podcast as the new album gets released in the last part of this year. Moving on from there, we have 21 Pilots with a new song called My Blood. Their label, fueled by Ramen, really loves to release singles before an album is out. Practically half the album is already released at this point. Let me know if you think that kind of spoils the album. I kind of lean on the side that it does, kind of like opening a Christmas present too early. Just tends to ruin the thematic or conceptual aspect of an album, that by the time you actually sit down to listen to the thing as a whole, it's like, well, I've already heard this, so you feel more inclined to kind of skip those songs. But yeah, let me know what you're thinking. Sound off down below in the comments for that. The song itself, the intro is a little dragged out. The songwriting for the first 50 seconds is a little unnecessary, but after that, the song really just finds its groove. Encapsulating synthesizers come in, fuzzy and sludgy bass, falsetto vocals, and the chorus. It really kicks into full swing just before the 2-minute mark. The bridge also assembles a perfect thrust of energy going into the song's final leg, and the melody feels more mature due to the darker aesthetic, and it's quite palatable because of it. The last hot track that I've picked up for this week is by Muse. It's called The Dark Side. Matt Bellamy's vocal performance is one of the best that I've heard from him in a long time. The falsettos work with the 80s kind of organs and synthesizers in the background. I feel like much of the instrumentation acts as a platform over which the melodies are constructed, feeling very organic and adventurous. And the counter melody created by the warped guitar and synth are very Muse-esque. This band continues to amaze me for staying true to themselves after so many studio albums. Hopefully the straightforward rock tendencies are out of their system, because Drones, their previous album, was really hit or miss, especially towards the end of that album's runtime. Now onto the cold tracks from the past week, and these are songs that I just thought were the worst that I heard. Starting that off, we have Loud Luxury featuring Anders with the new song Love No More. This one is just a copy of the song Body, the one that really hit it off in the mainstream. But yeah, this new one here, the melody, the synthesizer arrangement, everything about it really just sounds like it's ripping off Body. Super safe, trying to capitalize on the same elements that made the predecessor so successful. And if you don't believe me, check out the pre-chorus, because that part is just feels like it's plagiarism, honestly. And I kind of feel bad for Loud Luxury at this point, because it seems like he's becoming a one-note, one-dimensional artist at the moment. Hopefully he doesn't end up being that kind of artist where it's like they're the one-hit wonder. But moving on from there, we have Russ with the new single Serious. This is the second song to be released for Zoo, which is coming out later on this month. The minimal piano chords, the generic drum beat, is put focus on the vocals, and like that's not to say that's a bad thing, but when you actually clue in on the lyrics, you just realize that they're trash. And the tone of the refrain here is obnoxiously long. Just, I don't know why you had to drag out the word serious in that way. And the outro itself is also grossly underwhelming too. Rounding out this list here, Michael Jackson and Mark Ronson, they teamed up, even though Michael Jackson is no longer with us, rest in peace. Mark Ronson, though, I don't know why he wanted to like do a bunch of these remixed versions of greatest hit songs from Michael Jackson. He kind of just put them all together and chopped up some drum samples in there too, especially with Billie Jean. There's Smooth Criminal in there, Rock My World, The Way You Make Me Feel, Gotta Be Starting Something. The song just feels like it's all over the place, and if I really wanted to listen to great music, I would just listen to the originals, because Michael Jackson is the king of pop for a reason, and Mark Ronson, I don't know, he kind of made a bastardization of these great songs, and it might work in a party setting, but I don't know, just not feeling it. Yeah, so that's the list for the week. Sound off down below in the comments, let me know if you think I'm missing a song or two. Probably am. Haven't had much time to really listen to a whole lot of new music. I know that Eminem has come out with a new album. I hopefully will be reviewing that soon. But yeah, let me know what you're thinking. Sound off down below in the comments. Agree or disagree, I'm here to engage with you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. My name is Ryan from True North Reviews. And as always, thanks for watching, and more particularly for this episode, thanks for listening. Have a rockin' day.